Let's get back to our top story and Beijing's relationship with Washington. Qinduo joins us live. He is the host of CGTN's Dialogue Weekend and a senior fellow with the Panguo Institution. I want to talk to you about Yang Jiechi's speech. What do you think was the crux of the message? What stood out to you, and what was the biggest takeaway?
Well, I think that China has, if you look at the response, including this latest one from Yang Jiechi, it has been consistent. That is the overture from Beijing to Washington that China is seeking a cooperative relationship with Washington, and China would love to work with the new government in Washington to bring the relationship back on track. We know over the past 4 years, the relationship has been basically was at the bottom, probably the lowest point in decades between the two countries. So there's a lot of concern on both sides who love to see a stabilized relationship between the two most important powers in the world. So this is the key message, I think. In his speech, he talked about basically he disputed with the idea that China is a strategic challenge or competitor or even threat to the United States. He basically said this is not the right idea. China has no intention to challenge the U.S. in terms of the U.S. Dominant position in the world, in terms of I think a bilateral relationship here. So that's the general idea. China is ready to work with a new government to stabilize the relationship.
And that being said, ready to work, what would you say is China's biggest priority right now in working with this new administration?
Well, I think right now, it's a little bit, let's say, lopsided. For Washington, I think for the Biden administration right now, the priority is really domestic issues. The coronavirus and also the economic recovery and the unity of the country. That would be the priority. And in terms of foreign relationship, I think the Biden government is also prioritizing its, rebuilding its relationship with allies, including European Union member countries, including other, Asian their allies over there. And before that, so there's some talk about the relationship with China, but it's not, I would say it's not clear yet, what kind of policy the Biden administration is going to adopt toward China. But for China, I think, people are looking forward to say, what about, reopening of the dialogue? We need to talk to each other. Over the past year, partly because of the pandemic, there's no face-to-face talk between the two sides at whatever level, official channels. So people do think, yes, we have our differences. We have our problems. There are root causes about the relationship or the negative side of the relationship, but we need to talk to each other to see in how we can manage this relationship. If there's anything, probably we need to, for both sides, to make some compromise, even make some concessions. So for China, people see that a stable relationship between the two countries is good for both sides, and also is probably very important for this region, Asia-Pacific region, and also the rest of the world.
We have about 30 seconds left, but I have to ask you, you mentioned face-to-face dialogue. We know that under the Obama administration before Trump, there were several opportunities, a lot of meetings of dialogue, and we know that President Xi and President Biden now have met many times before face-to-face. So do you think that would be helpful in this relationship going forward?
Absolutely, there's no doubt about that. I know some people are complaining, like, oh, China is moving too slowly. But if you look at the Chinese opening up policy, for example, RCEP and also CAI, investment treaty with European Union, you can see China has been opening its market to the outside world and also reforming the necessary areas. And it's really about the pace and the direction. There's no change about that.